The story leads as Zimbabwe mourns the passing of its veteran leader. The family of Robert Mugabe and government remain at odds over burial arrangements. And the family wants a private funeral at an undisclosed location and date for the late leader, throwing Harare's plans into disarray. Dignitaries, including President Emmerson Mnangagwa and the opposition MDC leader, visited the family's home in the capital yesterday. We're trying to get our reporter Chriselda Lewis, who's on the ground, to give us the very latest. We saw this is day 2 of Robert Mugabe's body lying in state, and a number of people coming to pay their respects. We're going to touch base with Chriselda Lewis in a short while.
Several roads in Africa's richest square mile centre north of Johannesburg are closed to traffic today, and motorists are advised to avoid the area until this afternoon.
Well, the roads affected include, among others, Maud, West Rivonia and Gwen Lane. Hundreds of people have gathered in the business district to raise awareness against gender-based violence. We're going to go to that story in a short while, but I want to bring in now Chriselda Lewis, who's back on the line for us to get the latest on the ground with regards to the funeral arrangements and, I guess, the temperature views on the ground. Chriselda, a very good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Blaine.
Just give us a sense, Chriselda. I guess the big question now is, where is the former president and when is he going to be buried?
Well, Blaine, at this stage, your guess is as good as mine. There is no clarity at this stage about where the final resting place of the later former president of Zimbabwe will be finally laid to rest. There's still so much confusion surrounding that, but what we do know is that the family had requested a private burial. What is taking place here today, where I am standing at the Rufaro Stadium here in the Harare city centre, is that this is the second day of a public viewing for ordinary Zimbabweans to come and pay their last respects. I'm sure you'll see just towards my right now one of the hearses arriving at this time, so which might give a clear indication that the helicopter which carries the body of the later former elder statesman might make its way from his Blue Roof residence, which is in Borodale, also here in Harare, any minute now. There seems to be a bit of movement towards my right-hand side. I'm hoping you will be able to see that. So the second day of public viewing will take place here at the Rufaro Stadium. And I did say in an earlier crossing to our sister program, Morning Live, there does seem to be a bit of an increased sense of security here this morning, given that there'd been a mini stampede yesterday due to the thousands of people who had come here to view the body of the later former elder statesman. The line has dropped with us there a bit, Blaine, but I'm going to continue. So the expectation here is that once that helicopter does arrive here, it will be accompanied, of course, by the very close family of the later former president. Yesterday as well, his wife, Grace Mugabe, was here. She's also expected here again today. The family did indicate that she will be by his side until the burial itself. No clarity on the final resting place. But I think, you know, Blaine, overall, one of the observations that I made this morning is that while there is this big occasion that is taking place here in Zimbabwe, where, of course, millions will be watching around the world, whether you loved him or whether you hated him, while this occasion takes place, I just took around basically to look at, some of the day-to-day struggles of the people of this country. And what really stuck out for me at this stage, you've been struggling to connect with us here in the country, issues of electricity, where you have electricity that goes out for about 10 hours. You still have to queue for diesel in this particular country for us to be up and running to broadcast to you. We've been having massive challenges pertaining to that. So just looking around at the massive occasion itself that's taking place, we've tweeted quite a number of times to people, to watch our broadcasts and, the blow-by-blow coverage that we have been giving from this country. But it has really been exceptionally difficult to try and get that up and running, given the day-to-day struggles and the challenges of the Zimbabwean people. which we are also feeling at this stage. So what will happen here in the next a couple of hours or so, we're expecting that chopper carrying the body of the former president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, to arrive here. And again today we're expecting thousands of people, a mini stampede yesterday. So the police that I'm seeing here today have basically been stationed just around the parameter of this 35,000 strong stadium, and the expectation is that they will be needed to provide the necessary security to ensure that people do not move much closer to where the family will be seated, and that the body viewing itself will be coordinated in an orderly fashion.
All right, Chriselda, we'll leave it there for now. We'll try to reconnect with you in a short while. Thank you very much indeed for your reporting. Chriselda Lewis, live for us in Harare, Zimbabwe. Desiree.